Jeff, tell us about General Motors. Record year last year in earnings?
Record profit of $7.6 billion. That's huge for this company. Remember, they along with Chrysler went into bankruptcy in 2009, got bailed out by the U.S. government, had to rebuild themselves, and already a $7.6 billion profit for 2011, and GM made $7.2 billion in the U.S. alone last year. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's not all champagne and roses, right? I mean, in Europe, they've got a lot of big problems. It turns out in South America, they also were not profitable, which I don't know if that was a surprise. It was a surprise to me. But the Europe situation needs to be resolved, right? They need to make some big decisions there. I don't know if the numbers, though, were any worse than expected this morning. But in general, there are problems in Europe, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's where most of the conference call is now focusing on, is that they need to really do some heavy restructuring in Europe and try and deal with the problems over there. Remember, they decided to hang on to Opel after trying to sell it at one point. So what we're hearing now on the call is that they're going to be talking to unions over there, trying to find ways to cut capacity, to reduce costs. So they're not out of the woods yet by any stretch, and Europe could really drag them down this year.
Now, Jeff, I mean, look, you alluded to it before. There's a company that went into bankruptcy a couple of years ago, came out of that a smaller company. They shed a lot of brands. They lost a lot of work. I mean, they're physically a smaller company. Why are they so profitable now? What's driving it? Are they selling more cars?
They are selling more cars, but most importantly is they got rid of a lot of the costs that were dragging them down. Remember, they moved a lot of the retiree costs off the books, and those retiree healthcare costs usually took money right off the top of any car they sold. So moving that off the books, closing dealerships, increasing the profitability while cutting some of these extra costs that were dragging them down has really kind of given them the ability to start piling away some cash. Now the question is, can they get up on their feet here and get running in all parts of the world? As you can see, they're doing it in the U.S., but Europe, yes, Latin America, which was kind of a surprise. They still need to get going.
Jeff, the stock price is having a nice gain now. We showed the chart earlier. It's up about 4%. Before the market opened, though, shortly after the numbers came out, it was down a little bit, 2 or 3%. What accounts for the turnaround? What are people talking about in the market?
I really think that it's this pressure that GM is kind of calling out a 911 on its European operations and is going to deal with it pretty quickly here. I mean, the GM CFO saying we got to get in there, we got to make changes now right away. And the fact that they are talking to unions is a big deal right there. So, and then we had yesterday, too, that GM is going to end pension payments to some of its salaried employees here in the States. So that's all kind of playing into this fact that GM is kind of taking these things serious now, and they're going after it.
All right. Quickly, Jeff, what is the company looking for in 2012?
I haven't heard any forecasts as yet, so we're still waiting to hear on that, and that could be coming out from the call still today. So. But profit is still going to continue. It's whether or not how much Europe is going to drag them down. And remember, Europe is still going through its own economic problems over there. So whether or not that continues to pull GM further back is a big question. But I say all that too. And remember, GM, Chrysler, Ford, all this is going to play in also into the Republican primary. We have the candidates here in Michigan today. So interesting.